Are you ready to ditch guilt and step into the person you are meant to be? I'm Nicole Woodcox-Bolden, and welcome to Embolden to Thrive, the podcast sanctuary where mothers gather the strength to say their best yes. Join us as we conquer negative self-talk, navigate family communication styles, set marriage goals, and break free from societal norms. I'm a mental health therapist, doula, and vision engineer, here to guide you on this journey to empowerment. It's your time to shine. Let's thrive together. Welcome. I'm Nicole Woodcox-Bolden, your guide for this podcast, Embolden to Thrive. I thank you for joining me. And this is the space where I want mothers to gather so that we can have a safe space to cultivate our best yes. Because there's a lot of things out there that's putting pressure on us on being the best mom, being the best wife, best partner, best worker. And sometimes it's overwhelming. And so I want this to be a sanctuary so that we can gather and talk about the hard things. That's why I'm here. There's a lot of podcasts, and I'm not sure if a lot talk about that specifically. My biggest goal for mothers is to remember who they are and where they're trying to go. Because it's my belief that parenthood, whether you have a live birth or not, really invites you to the next evolution of yourself. And if you don't have a guide in that journey, sometimes you can feel scared or feel guilty for having the new thoughts that are coming to you. And so this is a space for you. If you've ever thought about I like my kids, I love my kids, but what about me? You're safe with those thoughts here because we have them too. And why I believe that's important. Mothers really have the power to change the world if we really are connected with ourselves and we understand our mission as people so we can be a model for our kids and not just a disciplinarian, not just a person that sacrifices everything for them, because that's not modeling them to be a good human. We're teaching them how to just follow directions and sacrifice themselves. And I know as a mother myself, I don't want my kids to learn that. I don't want them to embody this concept of self-sacrifice. I want them to feel free to thrive and live out their greatest visions. And so that's why I want this space for you. So we can talk about man, I'm tired. This doesn't feel like the motherhood that my mom had. This doesn't feel like the motherhood that my grandmother had. It feels very heavy. And so that's what we're going to break down. And we're going to talk about the unspoken expectations of motherhood that are put on us. Like, who says we're supposed to be the primary parent? Why should we be the ones to always call off from work if a kid is sick? Why should we say, okay, no, I'm not going to go to that work conference because I've already taken 2 work trips before and I'm gone out the house too much? Why? Why do we have that pressure? Why do we sacrifice that? What dreams do you really have that really makes your soul leap? And I want to give you that space and that permission to let that dream live again. Because so many times we just say no, I can't do that. That's being selfish. Well, it's all right to be selfish here because you being selfish is going to allow you to be the best mom that you can actually be. And your kids are going to appreciate that so much more. You don't want to be that mom where your kids later is oh, I really don't know what mom likes. She was always there for us. She cooked all our meals, but I don't know what mom's favorite color is. I don't know what mom's favorite food is. Allow your kids the opportunity to get to know who you are outside of the title of mommy. That's going to be so beneficial for them. That's how we raise good humans to live in this world. So you may be wondering, who am I to talk about this? So not only am I trained as a mental health therapist that studies perinatal mental health, but I too am a mother. I'm a mother of 2 children. And my journey to motherhood was not very smooth or easy. I did all the planning. I took all the perinatal classes. I had a doula. I went with midwives, and it was not what I envisioned. And being a person that has always been a high achiever, I did fairly well for myself academically, and I accomplished most things that I set out to. And so motherhood was the first time that I couldn't make things go the way I envisioned them going. My first birth, I had every intervention you can think of when it comes to birth. And thankfully, I have a live child on the other side of it, but that really took me into a spiral because I was like, oh, who am I now? I don't know this version of me. I've never experienced this. And it took me a long time, years, really, not to after my second child to really reconnect with myself again, because motherhood really forced me to address things that I never felt like I had to address. Because normally, if things were rough, I can just put a positive spin to it and be my nice self and things would be all right. That's not how motherhood works. You can't just always put on a happy face and things would be okay. And so this evolution really took me down a different journey in life. And I know how difficult that can be, especially when you're going it alone. And so that's why I'm here. I want you to know that you're not alone, that there's other people who birth or motherhood journey is not going the way they envisioned. And that's okay to have feelings around that, because motherhood sometimes require you to grieve a person that you thought you were. But that grieving is just going to make space for a better version of yourself. Or I shouldn't say a different version of yourself that allows you to access different parts of you that you didn't even realize was there. And so with that, that's a little bit about me, so that you know that you're listening to someone who can probably relate or at least have a little bit of empathy for your situation. Is not going to judge you. This is a no judgment zone. And so that's just me, so that you know who you're talking with. All right, as we wrap up this episode, this was a short one just to introduce myself and welcome you to the space. But I want you to remember that this is your journey to own, and you have the strength to cultivate your best yes and thrive in motherhood and beyond. So join us next time as we continue to empower mothers with a little dose of encouragement and to live their best life in this beautiful and challenging adventure that we call motherhood. So subscribe to this and share this with other mothers so that you can be encouraged together. You can also follow me on Instagram at Thriving with Baby Chicago. If you have any thoughts, please DM me on Instagram. If you want to hear about a certain topic, let me know, because I really want this to be a space that we cultivate together and we grow together in mothers and as individuals. So follow me on Thriving with Baby Chicago. Let me know how you're feeling, what thoughts you have, and hope to see you next time.